What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be doing my second ever live commentary for any other fight cards. This was almost 2 years ago for the Manuel Navarrete and Joa Gonzalez card, and that was in October of 2021. But now, this fight week, not a lot was going on, so I decided, maybe I'll just do a little live commentary for this card. We got a decent card here in England. Here it is at the U Toledo Arena in Birmingham, West Midlands, England. Just to go through on this fight card and what obviously occurred prior. We still got 3 fights left on the card, and the main event is obviously Yafai, who's 4-0 with 3 knockouts. He's taking on BoxRec's number 114 ranked Tommy Frank, who's 15-3-1, and it's for the WBC International Flyweight title. And in the co-main event, we have Cyrus Pattinson, who's 6-0. He's a good prospect from England. He's ranked 63 by BoxRec. There's also Kona Walker, who's 11-2 with 1 draw, who's ranked 223. That's a 10-round bout. And then our next fight that's coming up should be the heavyweight Solomon Dakers, who's 6-0, taking on Chris Thompson, who's 12-4-1. And what time is the main event? The main event should be on around, I'd say probably 5:30-ish, maybe in almost 2 hours, somewhere around there. But yeah, just on the card, we saw Khalil Majid defeat Alessandro Fursula by decision. And yeah, Jordan Flynn got a points draw against Kane Baker as well. So yeah, Solomon Daker should be coming up in his next fight. He is 6-0 with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. So he's ranked 107 by BoxRec, 6'5". He's a decent heavyweight prospect. It doesn't look like he has that much power. I'm pretty sure he did train with Anthony Joshua and some other, obviously, training camps for his other fights. In his last fight, he defeated Robert Ismay by second round TKO. He was 11-0 going into that fight. And before that, he defeated tough journeyman Ariel Esteban Brasamonte by decision. So right now they're just going through some of the commentators on the DAZN broadcast right here, but soon we should get up with that fight between Dakers and Thompson. But yeah, just to sort of break down some of these guys in the main event, or in the co-main event, I should go after I just talked about Dakers. Cyrus Pattinson, he's coming off a very good win. Like I said, ranked 63 by BoxRec. He's in the welterweight division, very tough and competitive weight class right now with guys like, obviously, Spence, Crawford, Virgil Ortiz, Jaron Ennis, Ugas, all those top guys, Cody Crowley, all those top guys up there. Stanionis. There's a ton of names in that weight class, and his ranking isn't that bad, especially for someone who's 6-0. He's 29 years old. In his last 2 fights were probably his best victories to date. He defeated Chris Jenkins by TKO in the 9th round. That's a very, very impressive victory. Chris Jenkins is a very tough fighter. His record isn't that great at 23-7, I believe, right now, but he's a very, very tough fighter. He also defeated York Louis by TKO in the 6th round, a very solid victory as well. Before that, defeating 8-0 Dimitri Trinell. I don't really know much about Pattinson's opponent, Kona Walker. He's 11-2, hasn't been stopped. He has 3 KO victories with 1 draw, and he's lost by points to Kane Gardner and Samuel Antwi. But it seems like the announcer's just announcing, or it's just bringing out the fighters. Right now, coming to the ring is Chris Thompson. And our next fight, he's 12-4-1. Seems like a very solid guy. Should be a decent test, I think, for Solomon Dakers. He could go the distance. Chris Thompson has been stopped twice. My official prediction for this one was a Dakers finish, probably in the middle rounds. But I think based off of Solomon Dakers' last performance, go full 10, but I'm banking on that he gets that stoppage. But yeah, Chris Thompson's a pretty big guy. He's only 28 years of age. His last 2 fights, though, he's taken defeats, lost by unanimous decision to Evgeny Romanov, and lost by TKO in the 6th round to Keaton Gomes. And prior to that, he's really only fought in his native country of South Africa, 1 fight, I believe in Tanzania, or 2 fights in Tanzania. The rest of them, South Africa, and then he lost to Evgeny Romanov in Russia. But yeah, we have Chris Thompson now in the ring. They're about to announce Solomon Dakers. Like I said before, 6-0, 2 wins by way of knockout. He's coming to the ring now in our next fight here on this Yafai versus Frank card here in the United Kingdom. So Dakers is coming to the ring now. He's, like I said before, trained with Anthony Joshua, trained with guys along that level. I mean, I believe he had a very solid amateur career. I wonder if BoxRec has listed his amateur stats. His record's 19-8 on BoxRec, but I don't think that's correct. I don't think they put put all of his victories. But when you look there, I mean, you could see that he's won multiple European championships in the amateurs. He's also fought in the World Series of Boxing. So definitely a very polished fighter, very solid prospect. The last win he has in his amateur career listed on BoxRec was a split decision victory over Jimadi Adubu Monze, and that was in the Tamer tournament final. And that's a very impressive victory, ending his amateur career, winning a tournament. And yeah, he's now in the ring, and they are announcing both fighters now. We're about to get started with this one right here. And then obviously this weekend wasn't obviously a lot of fights. This is really the only mainstream fight card today. Prior to this fight, or prior to the last 2 fights that I mentioned as well, between Majid and Fursula and Flynn and Baker, there was primarily just some prospects getting easy victories. I mean, this wasn't really a huge card, just a little showcase card for some of these decent prospects. I mean, most of these guys are undefeated with not that many victories. Like Majid is 10-0, now 11-0. Solomon Dakers is 6-0, most likely going to be 7-0. Jordan Flynn going into this fight was 9-0, now 9-0-1. And Cyrus Pattinson is 6-0, and Galal Yafai obviously is 4-0. So Chris Thompson is being announced right now. He does look like he should definitely pack a punch. I mean, I got to see how many knockouts he does have. 12-4-1. He's got 7 knockouts, just about almost a 60% KO ratio. Made his pro debut in 2017. Like I said before, 28 years of age. His height is not listed on BoxRec, but he is ranked 167. So, yeah, they're announcing Chris Thompson right now. They're about to announce Solomon Dakers, and we're about to get started with this one. The next will be the co-main event, and then after that will be obviously the main event between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank. Yafai, obviously, he has 2 brothers. Obviously, Khalid Yafai is the former WBA champion, and his other brother as well, a very decent fighter as well. So, yeah, now Galal Yafai, he's continuing that family name. Obviously, continuing to fight decent guys and just building himself up. And Solomon Daker has just been announced. They're taking off his robe, sending the fighters in the chief second to the center of the ring, and we're about to get started with the next fight here on this card. Right now, Solomon Dakers and Chris Thompson are facing off. They just touched gloves. We're about to get started right here. The height difference, I'd say Solomon Dakers is a little bit taller than Chris Thompson, but Thompson, like I said before, has been stopped in 2 of his 4 losses. So my prediction, like I said before, would probably be Dakers to win by a mid-round knockout, probably around like 4 or 5 or 6, somewhere around there. But Chris Thompson did come in very good shape in this fight. They're both starting out pawing with jabs. Solomon Dakers is orthodox. Chris Thompson is a southpaw. Solomon Dakers just went in with a good left hook on Chris Thompson. Both of them sort of in a feel-out stage right here. Not really much going on. A jab from Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson just fired off a left hand, just missed. Yeah, this fight looks like it could be a little slow start for Solomon Dakers. Like I said before, 6-0, 2 knockouts. Not really, obviously, that much power, obviously, from his resume. But he did just fire off a good right hand, as I just said that. But, yeah, I mean, Chris Thompson, he did come in very good shape for this fight. Almost kind of looks like a bodybuilder. Another jab there from Solomon Dakers. Like I said before, 6-0, 2 knockouts versus 12-4-1 with 7 KOs. Dacre's just trying to fight at range, trying to throw long shots, no hooks, nothing. He's just throwing straight shots at Chris Thompson. Seems to have success. He's getting out of the way of Chris Thompson's shots. He just went for an overhand that landed on the arm of Solomon Dacres, but definitely a better start here for for Solomon Dacres, who's obviously had a very solid amateur background and so far decent as a pro, and is definitely a heavyweight prospect to watch as the years go on. But obviously, thus far, he hasn't faced that high level of competition, and he's just rising up in the ranks. And both of these guys are similar in age as well. Dacres is 29, Thompson is 28, even though Thompson does look significantly older, I would say, than Dacres. Both of them just sort of pawing with jabs at this point. Dacres trying to throw straight shots at Thompson. Just a strong round for Dacres. Not really much going on for Thompson. Dacres just trying to land his shots, put his shots out there, just trying to keep him at bay with his jabs, with his 1-2s. Just a good start for Solomon Dacres here. Most likely going to go 7-0 in this one. A big right hand just landed for Solomon Dacres, sort of shook the legs of Chris Thompson, and Thompson looks kind of hurt here. Thompson just went in with a combination, but his legs looked shaken, tried to fight back when he was hurt. But definitely a very good round for Solomon Dacres, and if he's able to land another one of those shots in the second round, we could see an early finish here in this one. But definitely a good start for Solomon Dacres, and I think he takes that first round that's just coming to a close. So Solomon Dacres, I think he took that first round, landed a good shot on Chris Thompson. Definitely the better of the two, skill-wise. Power-wise, it looks like Chris Thompson definitely has a lot of power, has a lot of muscle on him. But as we know with some of the fighters in the past few years, like Anthony Joshua, where we see too much muscle could be their downfall. So, I mean, we'll see. I wonder how Chris Thompson's cardio is because I don't know if he's going to be able to really go through this entire fight. Because Solomon Dacres, he's a very, very solid fighter, very good prospect, has trained around the world. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Dacres is definitely in much better condition than Chris Thompson, who's a significant underdog and B-side in this fight. But a good first round for Solomon Dacres as we are just about to start the second round, sending both of them out. And round two has just began between these guys. Solomon Dacres, like I said before, 6-0, 2 KOs if you're just joining us. And Chris Thompson, 12-4-1 with 7 knockouts. He's a southpaw. Dacres is orthodox, and this is the third to last fight on the Yafai and Frank main card. So right now, again, just like the first round, Solomon Dacres is just going in with some straights to the head, to the body, just trying to keep Thompson at bay. Thompson just went to the body with a nice jab. Maybe that could be a benefit for him. I think he might he should really try and bank some of these rounds early by maybe going to the body because obviously he's a significant B-side, significant underdog in this fight. Maybe he could go to the body, slow down Solomon Dacres. But I mean, I don't really know what obviously his game plan could be going into this one at such a significant underdog. Maybe it could be just trying to land one punch on Dacres just to get a big upset, but it's obviously going to be trying to win. But I mean, Dacres here is just sticking to his game plan, just landing jabs, some straights. He's sort of fighting at mid-range a bit and just using some head movement to get out of the way, just trying to land some shots. I mean, Solomon Dacres is definitely in control of this fight. Definitely skill-wise, the much better, much more polished fighter. You could definitely tell. But I mean, I've heard some people say Dacres is somewhat of a boring fighter. I mean, I could definitely see why based on watching him a bit right now. Definitely just trying to land shots. I mean, he's just trying to get the victory here. I mean, I can't blame him for that. But yeah, I mean, he's just landing his shots, trying to score points. If the right shot lands, I mean, I think that's what he's going for. He's just trying to land his shots, trying to score his points, trying to get the victory. And if a knockout comes, then obviously it comes for him. So, I mean, if he gets the victory in this fight, gets the knockout, he will be 7-0 with 3 knockouts. He just landed a good right hand on Thompson. But it seems Thompson is a pretty steady guy, even though he's gotten stopped twice out of his 4 defeats. And an overhand right just missed from Dakers as well. Pawing with jabs here. Both of them land with a solid jab. And Jaguars in the chat, salute to him as well. One of my top subscribers on this channel, always commenting on my videos. Thanks for watching as well. But yeah, now Thompson's kind of getting some confidence a bit. He's going in with the jab. Definitely, I mean, a bit better round compared to the first. The first round, he didn't really have much success at all. Yeah, good shots here from both. And like I said before, maybe going to the body could be a benefit for Thompson, and he just went to the body with a good straight left hand. Second round coming to a close. And I think Solomon Dakers also got that round as well. I have him up 20-18 or 2 rounds to nothing. So this is a 10-round bout in the heavyweight division. I don't believe there's any title or like any regional title on the line for this one. Apparently, via BoxRec, it says Solomon Dakers is the British Boxing Board of Control champ in the heavyweight division after his knockout victory over Robert Ismay. But yeah, no title on the line for this one. But the main event, there will be the WBC International title on the line. And the difference between these two, obviously fighting right now between Dakers and Thompson. Thompson is ranked number 167 via BoxRec. Dakers is ranked 107, so a 60 spot difference between these two. And we're just about to start round number 3 between these guys. So going into the third round, I got it 20-18 in Solomon Dakers' favor. Definitely in control of this fight. Like I said before, definitely the much, much better polished fighter. A bit faster. Looks like he's a bit stronger with his shots and his punch placement. Doing much better at this point in the fight. Dakers now going forward a bit. A nice jab from Thompson. Another jab to the body from Solomon Dakers. A hook to the head misses from Dakers as well. Just as I was getting some water, Chris Thompson landed a very good jab on the face of Solomon Dakers. And now, just as Dakers came in to throw some shots, Chris Thompson comes back with a good combination to the body and to the head of Solomon Dakers. Chris Thompson this round sort of taking a defensive approach, fighting off the back foot a bit. Maybe it could be good for him in this one. I mean, last round he was going to the body a bit, made it a bit more of a competitive round, but I would say definitely Solomon Dakers is in control. But this round, so far, a decent start for the underdog in Chris Thompson. A good jab to the body from Solomon Dakers. And a good right hand there from Chris Thompson. I don't know what this comment is here, whoever said, and I'm not eating a sandwich, by the way. And just as I was saying that, Solomon Dakers comes in with a good right hand on Chris Thompson. He's landing some heavier shots this round. We are in the third round between Solomon Dakers and Chris Thompson. I have a 20-18 in favor of Solomon Dakers. Should be going 7-0 if he gets the victory here and if everything goes right. Solomon Dakers now going forward after landing a good shot on Chris Thompson. Fires off a good right hand on Thompson as well. 35 seconds left in this round. Good jab to the head from Solomon Dakers. And then a good jab from Chris Thompson as Solomon Dakers was coming in. Chris Thompson landed a very, very good jab to the face of Dakers. And a right hand to the body from Solomon Dakers as well. And this third round coming to a close, I got it 30-27 in favor of Solomon Dakers. But the last 2 rounds have been a bit more competitive, but Obviously, there's a clear winner here, and it is the favorite in this one, Solomon Dakers. So this fight card is a part of Matchroom's Boxing installments of the Next Gen series, and it's obviously here in England, in the Utilita Arena in Birmingham, England. Um, these small little fight cards are pretty fun to watch. I mean, you get to see a showcase of some of these decent prospects. It reminds me sort of a lot of these top rank cards, where you get to see a lot of these prospects going at it, putting their undefeated record on the line. Like no BS title fights, no robberies, no nothing. I mean, these cards are pretty decent to watch. And we're just getting into the fourth round between these two, Dakers and Thompson. Obviously 10 3-minute rounds in this one. Heavyweights in there, a good body shot just to start the round from Chris Thompson, and another body shot misses from Thompson as well. Good body jab from Dakers. Hook to the head misses. Now Chris Thompson is moving around from the outside. And Jaguar says there was a fight card in Atlanta too yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was one of the overtime boxing cards. I didn't give it a watch yesterday, but I saw some posts about it on DAZN as well, or on DAZN's social media and all that. I didn't really get to see who was on that card, but I should definitely check out the stats and BoxRec as well of obviously the results on that card. But I saw a lot of stuff being posted about it all over Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But in this fourth round, a minute down, 2 minutes to go. A good start with some jabs to the body and some straights to the body from Thompson, but Daker is landing some stiff jabs to the head. Stiff jabs to the head of Thompson. Who Gaiman says, who do I got in this one? I'm pretty sure I'm taking Galal Yafai to win this one. I think he will get probably a unanimous decision victory. I could see him getting a late stoppage, but I think he's going to get the job done. I think he's going to win easy. I think it's going to be a good showcase for him. Tommy Frank, I don't think is that high level, and I think Galal Yafai, even though he had a pretty tough test like 2 fights ago, in a very, very close fight where he had to battle through some adversity, I think he should get the job done and get a decent victory. So if you guys are just joining in, I would appreciate it if you guys go obviously hit the like and hit the subscribe button, and just drop in the chat below what you guys think, or who do you guys think is going to win this one, and what's your pick on the fight. So we got 50 seconds left in this fourth round. A good jab to the head again from Dakers. I mean, this fight's really a battle of jabs a bit. It's really just straight punches in this one, jabs and straight right hands going through it. Solomon Dakers primarily with that straight right, backing up Chris Thompson. He's just landed 2 straight right hands in a row. Thompson's legs look a bit shaken. Some good right hands there in that sequence from Solomon Dakers, and another one with 20 seconds left. A good round here for Dakers to close, landing some big right hands. We got just about 10 seconds left of this fourth round. We're almost halfway through in this 10-round bout in the heavyweight division. And really the thing is with most of these guys on this card, Solomon Dakers and Cyrus Pattinson and Galal Yafai, they're all undefeated, but all the guys that they're facing have pretty solid chins, haven't really been stopped much. So yeah, these are some good tests for these rising prospects. But after 4 rounds, I have this fight 36 in favor of Solomon Dakers. Definitely a very good start for Dakers. Obviously, the odds were probably on Dakers to get a stoppage victory. I still think he could get one. He's been firing off those right hands nicely in these past 2 rounds, sort of shaking up Thompson in the corner. Looks like he's breathing heavily from his mouth, might be a bit tired. But yeah. Obviously, we're just about to go into the 5th round of this one. Chris Thompson at 12-4-1. Solomon Dakers 6-0. Probably going to go 7-0 as a result of this one. So fifth round just starting here. I got Dakers up 40-36 over Chris Thompson. Nearly halfway through in this one. Solomon Dakers just going out there pawing his jab. Looks to be the better man, obviously, as I mentioned earlier. Good start for him here in the first half. Hopefully he can get the stoppage. I think he might be able to get it maybe a bit later because Chris Thompson does look a bit steadier than I would have imagined, taking some of these shots good. But if he gets hit by one of those hard straight right hands flush, it could be lights out for Chris Thompson because he's looking a bit tired. Now a body shot here from Chris Thompson lands. Solomon Dakers pawing with the jab. Like I said before, I mean, it's really a battle of jabs primarily in this one and straight right hands. And just as I say that, Solomon Dakers lands a good right hand on Chris Thompson. And if you're just joining in, we are in the third to last fight, one fight away from the co-main event on the Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank main card. We got this one between Dakers and Thompson. Then we got Cyrus Pattinson taking on Kona Walker, and then the main event between Yafai and Frank. But all three of these fights are obviously good showcases of these young, undefeated prospects putting their O on the line, taking on some decent level domestic competition. Solomon Dakers here having a bit of a slower round, definitely winning it though pretty easily, throwing some good straights. Just landed a good, nice sort of hook / uppercut on Thompson. Thompson just fires back with a body, but Solomon Dakers winning this one pretty easily thus far. Now Chris Thompson goes to the body with a nice straight jab. I said earlier that Chris Thompson, his best bet would probably be to slow down Dakers, but he hasn't really done much of that. He's landed some straights to the body, not really doing much. Chris Thompson just got hit with a good hook from Solomon Dakers that sort of shook him up a bit and made him smile. But we are in the fifth round with 20 seconds left in this one. Just about to close out the fifth round. 10 seconds left in this one. We're about to get to the second half of this heavyweight clash between Dave Thompson. Just as I say that, Chris Thompson lands a straight to the body to end the round, but I think that was definitely a Solomon Dakers round. I think he's up 50-45 or 5-0. Definitely easy scoring here. Solomon Dakers should be up big in this one. We're going into the sixth round. If you're just joining us, between Solomon Dakers and Chris Thompson. Dakers 6-0, Thompson at 12-4-1. In between rounds, they're just showing Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker getting ready for their fight. Cyrus Pattinson looks ready. In his dressing room, he's a very, very good prospect in the welterweight division, 6-0, 4 wins by KO. And Kona Walker is a domestic level British fighter. But we are in the sixth round between these two here, between Dakers and Thompson in the heavyweight division. Just in that second half of the fight, I was banking on that Dakers should have got a mid-round stoppage, but I mean, I don't really know if it's going to happen unless Dakers lands something big. I mean, he's not really firing off with the super heavy power shots. He's just trying to land flush, clean shots on Thompson. I mean, that could get the job done, but thus far in this fight, it looks like Thompson is taking the shots fairly well. Both of them are clinching now. We got 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in this sixth round between these two. A good shot to the body from Chris Thompson, the heavy underdog in this fight. A good right hand over the top from Solomon Dakers, and another one again. Hopefully he's able to fire off some of these power shots and get the job done. But definitely, it looks like he's jumping on it a bit in this round, sort of going forward more, throwing heavier shots, faster shots on Chris Thompson. Good round right here for Solomon Dakers. And another right hand from Solomon Dakers, and left hand from Chris Thompson, but still a Solomon Dakers round, I would say. Doing the better work, landing some solid right hands and some jabs. We got 1 minute left in this 6th round between these two heavyweights on the Yafai and Frank main card. This round is definitely a bit more slow than the other rounds we've seen in this one. Solomon Dakers is just doing a bit more, though. I mean, in the start of this round, it looked like Dakers was jumping on it a bit and just doing a bit more compared to the other rounds. But as this round goes on and is closing, Dakers is just doing a lot less with his output. And it appears right now that Chris Thompson's eye is a bit cut. Might be from a headbutt, because I didn't really see any punch that really could have caused that, but we'll see if they go to an instant replay or something in between the rounds. 6th round just coming to a close here. Chris Thompson's eye is a bit bloodied up, but a pretty solid round here for Solomon Dakers. A bit slower, but he definitely won it. I got it 60-54, or 6 rounds to nothing in Solomon Dakers' favor. Dakers the pretty big favorite in this one. Probably going to go 7-0 at the result of this fight. We're heading into the 7th round now between Dakers and Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson fights out of South Africa. Solomon Dakers out of the United Kingdom. And it appears that blood that I was mentioning earlier from Thompson is coming from the sort of the top of the hairline, around his hairline, on his forehead a bit around there. Could have been caused from a headbutt, maybe a punch, but definitely those sort of gashes around there bleed a lot. And obviously there's threat of it running down into your eyes. So that could be a problem for Chris Thompson in this one, obviously. But, Solomon Dakers going forward with the jab here at the start of this 7th round. After this fight, we got the co-main event and then the main event to follow. But good start here, like earlier rounds, just with the straight shots, with the jabs from Solomon Dakers. Chris Thompson going forward with a jab to the head now on Solomon Dakers. Right now, they're sort of pawing at jabs here, these two heavyweights in the ring. Not much going on at the start of this round. Solomon Dakers, undefeated prospect going into this one. A good left hand lands over the top for Chris Thompson. But definitely a very, very slow round, very quiet round at this point. Good straight shot to the body from Thompson. Not a bad start to this round for Thompson. Another body shot for Thompson as well. A good right hand to the head lands for Solomon Dakers. This fight is a bit slower than I anticipated. I thought it would have been a bit more exciting between heavyweights and their big heavyweights. But hopefully the next one is going to be a bit more exciting. Not much going on, if I'm going to be honest here. But Cyrus Pattinson, he's 6-0, 4 KOs. Kona Walker is 11-2, has never been stopped. Hasn't really lost to anyone at a high level yet, though. Solomon Dakers, though, just doing a bit better, I would say. But in this round, though, it's kind of a chess match. Throughout the fight overall, Dakers is doing much better. But in this round, though, decent round here for Chris Thompson. Very, very close. Whoever wins the last 43 seconds, I think, could edge it. A good left hand for Chris Thompson now. Very, very close round. Just about 30 seconds left. Now we're embarking on 20 seconds left in this round. Solomon Dakers lands a good straight to the head of Chris Thompson. Closing out this round, 10 seconds left. Definitely a much more competitive round than the other rounds throughout this fight. But Solomon Dakers should probably take it. But I would say round 7 is really the only swing round in this fight. A good left hand from Chris Thompson. Maybe that could have swung the round in his favor. And he lands a good left-handed body. I might give that round to Chris Thompson. Thompson wins this round on the judges' scorecards, which he probably won't. I mean, we're in England. It was sort of a competitive round. Obviously, Dakers is the big favorite, but I'll that round to Chris Thompson. Right now, I got it 69-64 in Dakers' favor. We are now going into the 8th round of this fight between these two, Dakers and Thompson. Solomon Dakers, like I said before, 6-0, 2 KOs. Chris Thompson, 12-4-1, seven knockouts. Obviously, Dakers is a big favorite in this one. Heavyweight prospect, had a good amateur career, trained with guys like Anthony Joshua, among others. But yeah, we're going into the 8th round between Dakers and Chris Thompson. Solomon Dakers going forward now with some straight shots to the head and to the body. I mean, this fight, I got to be honest, isn't that exciting at all. I mentioned earlier that some people say Solomon Dakers isn't really that exciting. He's pretty boring, and I might have to agree. He's not really doing much in some of these rounds. Like I said before, very highly touted Solomon Dakers is with the guys he's trained with his amateur career, but he's just not an exciting heavyweight in the slightest. I would admit. He is undefeated, but only 2 knockouts in his 6 wins, and he hasn't really beaten anyone to date yet. But yet again, he is only 6-0. But I think this fight really should have been an 8-round fight as opposed to a 10. Solomon Dakers obviously not really known as the brutal knockout punching guy, but I mean, I really think this should have been an 8-rounder. There was no type of title on the line for this one. Probably should have been an 8-rounder. But yeah, I mean, he's just doing a bit more in this 8th round. But the 7th round I thought was a good round for Thompson. But 8th round, Dakers just going straight back to it, landing his straights to the head, and just doing a bit better. But now Chris Thompson goes forward and initiates a clinch. But definitely Dakers just doing a bit more. Thompson just not doing enough here in the 8th round. In this round a bit, I've sort of seen Chris Thompson sort of lunging forward a bit. Maybe that's because he's tired. He sort of runs forward, goes to the body, goes to the head, and clinches. Maybe that's his tactic here. But Solomon Dakers just landed a 3-punch combination, a 1-2 with a hook on Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson will most likely fall to 12-5-1 as a result of this one. Dakers will most likely be 7-0. Another clinch initiated by Chris Thompson. Maybe he's tired. He is really tiring. I mean, he's got a lot of muscle. I mean, he's in the 8th round of a 3-minute per round fight. Probably pretty tired, I would imagine. But I mean, he's breathing with his mouth open here. Dakers just taking advantage of that, peppering him with good shots. Definitely winning this round. Closing out the 8th round here. We got 15 seconds left. good right hand lands again for Solomon Dakers to close the round, and that is the end of the 8th round. I'm giving it to Solomon Dakers. And after 8 rounds, I have it 79-73 in favor of Solomon Dakers, definitely winning this one. Now they're showing Galal Yafai in the dressing room getting ready for his fight, big main event, against and the Jaguar says, if my channel's not allowed to get super chats yet, I mean, I really kind of don't know what about that, if I'm really able to yet or not. I am monetized now, but back when I did my first live stream, it was before I was monetized. Didn't have enough subscribers and views and stuff, but obviously now doing my second live stream, I mean, I think I might be able to soon after I sort of get used to it. I might sort of figure out ways to get that done. But at this point, I don't really think so. I haven't really set anything up with the streams or anything to that nature. But we are heading into the 9th round between these two, Solomon Dakers and Chris Thompson. I got it 79-73 in favor of Solomon Dakers. I only gave the 7th round to Chris Thompson, but every other round was very, very clear and wide in favor of Solomon Dakers. The only other sort of competitive 7th, and I thought Chris Thompson did a good job with his straights to the body. We got almost 2 minutes left in this 9th round between these two. Like I said before, Solomon Daker is just not that exciting. He's just sort of trying to score points here. He just lands a good right hand on Thompson, but I mean, he's just not firing enough combinations off. He just landed another right hand here, right hand on Thompson, and it's sort of, I'm noticing his style. It's not really a combination punching style. He just likes to land singular shots. He likes to fire off a straight right hand, then a jab, or just a 1-2. I mean, I'm just watching it right here. I mean, he just landed a straight right, followed by just one uppercut, then one hook. But yeah, I definitely think Solomon Daker is taking this round with ease. Chris Thompson looks a bit tired. He just puts Dakers in a front headlock here as he begins to tire. We are in the 9th round of 10 scheduled. We got 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this round. Jaguar says, looking to deserve it. I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for watching, and especially you, Jaguar, commenting on all my videos, watching, taking a look at my analysis. But I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously some of these streams are great to listen into. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of other boxing YouTubers as well out there who also do streams and other analysis videos. I mean, they're very, very good. I mean, all of us out there know what we're talking about usually, obviously in this circle. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Solomon Dakers, or just getting back to the fight here, Solomon Dakers just landed a good right hand on Thompson, but just doing pretty much the same. But I mean, yeah, I'm definitely going to look into more streaming as time goes on a bit. I've only done one other stream besides this one, and it was another live commentary stream. I might start to do more streams, more on like boxing talk, as opposed to just commentary on some of these fight cards. But yeah, we just ended the 9th round. I mean, it was pretty much the same overall from what I was saying earlier. It was just Solomon Dakers just doing a bit more. I got him up 89-82 after 9 rounds here. In that round, Solomon Dakers was just firing off a ton of 1-2s, winning the round very easily. Right now, it is 4:31 Eastern time, 4:31 p.m. Eastern time. We should see the main event in maybe a little bit over an hour, I would say. Maybe a bit less, but yeah, heading into the final round of this heavyweight clash, I would imagine that the judges in this one have it pretty wide in favor of Dakers, and we are just starting the 10th and final round between these two. Dacres looks a bit tired, breathing out the mouth. I mean, just went 9 full rounds going into the 10th. Obviously, like I've been saying these past few rounds, Thompson has looked pretty tired as well. But we are in the 10th and final round between these two. Maybe, just maybe, Chris Thompson, Solomon Dacres might push to get a knockdown or something just to close it out impressively. But, I mean, so far in this fight, it's looked like he's just trying to land his shots. Hasn't really been that impressive, if I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't really think he'll be giving a lot of the higher level, undefeated, rising heavyweights a good test, let alone the top 10 or let alone the top 5 guys. Solomon Dacres, I don't think is ready or even would be that competitive with other undefeated rising heavyweights like Jared Anderson or Frank Sanchez or Makhmudov or these other rising heavyweights, even like Filip Hrgovic or Joe Joyce. I know Joyce has a loss, but I mean, just guys like that who were just sort of breaking onto the scene in the past year or two. But in this round, just another slow round for Solomon Dacres, winning easily with not that much difficulty. I mean, he really could have stepped on the gas pedal in this one, I think, because Chris Thompson is just a big, plodding heavyweight, not really much head movement at all. And Dacres was just landing his shots, not really putting that much power behind him, just trying to land him. But yeah, in this 10th round, a lot of holding, not really much going on. We got almost a minute and a half left of this round. Chris Thompson going forward with a 3-punch combination. So far, this isn't a bad round for Thompson, but just as I say that, Solomon Dacres lands a good combination on Chris Thompson, almost making him slump forward a bit. We got just about a minute left. And at this 10th and final round, a good straight left hand from Chris Thompson as he lunges forward on Solomon Dacres. Whoever wins this 10th and final round, whoever wins this last minute of this 10th and final round will probably edge the round. Chris Thompson a bit more aggressive in this one, knowing that he's down in this fight. And there's another clinch initiated by Thompson. 30 seconds left. Another right hand from Solomon Dacres. Definitely edging the fight overall. This 10th round is pretty competitive, but I think Solomon Dacres is just doing a bit better. We got 20 seconds left. Solomon Dacres lunges with a big hook and misses. 10th round just about a close between these two. And Solomon Dacres finishes with a 1-2, some body shots, and a headshot in the clinch. All right, and the fight just ended. I'm giving that 10th round to Solomon Dacres. I got a 99-91 in Solomon Dacres' favor. I would imagine that the judges would have this fight anywhere between 99-91 or 100-90 in Solomon Dacres' favor. But like I said before, not the most exciting performance by him. Not that great. He should go to 7-0. But, I mean, Chris Thompson, a relatively unknown fighter, hasn't really fought anyone of note. And Dacres went the full 10 rounds with him. I mean, obviously we've seen so far in Dacres' career that he's not the biggest power puncher. But, I mean, it's just not that impressive. To honest, being that Chris Thompson, it's not like he didn't drop him once. He didn't really hurt him that bad in this one. Just not the greatest performance from Dacres. It looked like he sort of lacked a bit of, I guess aggression, because he just wasn't really throwing his punches with that much intent. Wasn't throwing big combinations. Just wasn't doing much in this one overall. He was just doing more than Chris Thompson. When the judges have a decision, I think they do pretty close to, I think maybe right now they might have the scorecards. I will turn up the volume a bit. Solomon Dacres waiting in his corner for the scorecards to be read. I had it scored 99-91 if you're just joining. I had it scored 99-91 over Chris Thompson, the South African-born fighter, who's 12-4-1. And we're just going to get the judge's decision on this one. I'll turn up the volume a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds here in Birmingham, we go to the judges' score totals. Michael Alexander and Kevin Parker both scored about 99 to 91. John Latham, 98 to 92. All three. Your winner by unanimous decision is still.
So Solomon Dakers got the unanimous decision victory here. I don't know if you guys heard that. I probably had it a bit too low, but he improves to 7-0 with 2 KOs. The judges had this fight scored 99-91 and 98-92. I completely agree with that. The 10th round and the 7th round were definitely rounds that could have went in favor of Chris Thompson. But yeah, Solomon Dakers gets the job done. In my opinion, still undefeated though. Chris Thompson is now 12-5-1 with 7 knockouts. Solomon Dakers 7-0-2. Or excuse me, 7 wins, no losses, no draws with 7 knockouts. So Chila says this sounded like the type of fight that one thinks about thinking about UK fights. Nothing wrong, just their style, I guess. I mean, I agree with that. Just sort of these UK fighters just throwing straight shots out there, not really like a sort of Mexican style fighter who just goes out there brute force with head movement, going out big combinations. I mean, it's just a different style, sort of like that European style, just throwing straights, trying to score points. But I mean, yeah, Solomon Daker is definitely not that exciting with his style in this one, and I think that goes to show. I mean, there's a lot of fighters who fight sort of like Solomon Dakers, especially in the heavyweight division, where they could just take advantage with a sort of bit of higher skill, higher experience, just by landing some decent shots and not even being impressive. So right now, leading up to our co-main event, they're showing highlights of Cyrus Pattinson and his victory over Chris Jenkins, and that was a very impressive win. Cyrus Pattinson goes to win his fight, so I'm hoping that he's able to put on a more impressive performance than Solomon Dakers. But going into this fight, he is 6-0, 4 KOs. He always likes to go at it, throw a lot of fast combinations. They're going through some commercials here. So maybe just take a look at what's next for boxing in the next few weeks. First, I'll just take a look at, obviously, next week, August 26th. We have heavyweight boxing, obviously, that night. Obviously, in Poland, there's Alexander Usyk, who's the unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's obviously undefeated, former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. He's going to be taking on Daniel Dubois in Poland, and that fight's going to be broadcasted on ESPN Plus. And to sort of take a look at that, Alexander Usyk, like I said before, he is the unified heavyweight champion of the world, 20-0 with 13 wins by knockout. That is coming up in a week on August 26th. From the Stadion Wrocław in Wrocław, Poland. The WBO, WBA, IBF, and IBO heavyweight titles on the line. Daniel Dubois, though, his opponent, 19-1 with 18 wins by knockout. Daniel Dubois obviously is the WBA regular heavyweight champion, but Daniel Dubois, he's just doesn't have a lot, I think, to give to Alexander Usyk. He's just, like we obviously saw, he's got that one loss to Joe Joyce. He lost by TKO in that fight, messed up his eye pretty bad. His eye swelled up really bad, was getting hit with stiff jabs. He had a very tough time in that one. And he also had a very tough time against Kevin Lorena in his last fight. He was getting hit with some huge bombs in the first round and got dropped by Lorena 3 times. So it was a very, very tough win for Daniel Dubois in that one. And if you guys are just joining, we were heading into the co-main event of the Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank main card. And that is between Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker. And Daniel, just going back into the fights coming up, obviously next week, Daniel Dubois, he obviously has lost to Joe Joyce, won by TKO over Kevin Lorena, got dropped 3 times, and then sort of had a controversial stoppage victory in that third round where he dropped Lorena and then finished him off with some good combinations. But it was a weird stoppage because the round just ended and the referee let Dubois go all the way out and get dropped 3 times in the first round. And usually at that third knockdown, they stop the fight. But yeah, before that, Daniel Dubois defeated Trevor Bryan by KO in the fourth, defeated Joe Cusimano by KO in the first, and defeated Bogdan Dinu by KO in the second. So he's coming off of 3 straight KO victories to that victory over Kevin Lorena. And obviously, in total, he's coming off of 4 straight wins as well. But also on that card, we get to see Denis Berinchyk, who's the undefeated, currently number 14 ranked lightweight contender. He's a very, very good fighter, very, very underrated. He's going to be taking on Anthony Yiggett in a 12-round lightweight bout. I'm pretty sure that's for a world title eliminator. Could be the WBO title eliminator. And if you guys are just joining, we are just about to go into the co-main event between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank, and that is between Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker. And Shifty Nation says, when is the main event? Like I said before, we're just about to go into the co-main event. Right now, David Diamante is announcing the co-main event fighters. Main event should be on in maybe a little bit under an hour, maybe around 5:30, as right now, or 5:30 Eastern time, PM. Right now it is 4:44 PM Eastern time. Right now, Kona Walker is coming to the ring. But just before I talk about, obviously, the fight coming up, Denis Berinchyk fighting next week in the co-main event in the Usyk and Dubois fight. He's 17-0. Anthony Yiggett 27-3. I mean, just like the main event, I don't think the underdog brings much to the table. I don't think Yiggett brings much. He's lost by KO 3 times, getting stopped by Keyshawn Davis and Rolly Romero, and getting stopped by Ivan Berinchyk. Very similar name to Denis Berinchyk. But Berinchyk, he's from Ukraine, ranked 14 by BoxRec in the lightweight division. He's got some very good wins. Ivan Mendy by unanimous decision. Also defeated Isa Chaniev by unanimous decision, which was a pretty impressive win. Both of those wins, I would say. He defeated Ivan Mendy on the Tyson Fury main card as well. And he should be getting the victory over Anthony Yiggett. But going into one of the last fights, or one of the other few fights on that card, Fyodor Cherkashin from Poland, who's 22-0. Is a very, very good fighter, in my opinion, respectively. He's going to be taking on the undefeated Anuel. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Anuel Ngasimegwe, if I pronounce his name correctly. He's originally born in the Congo, now lives in France. Like I said before, 12-8 KOs. He's ranked number 65 by BoxRec. So yeah, he's taking on Fyodor Cherkashin next week, and I think Cherkashin should get the victory. And then Hamza Shiraz, who's ranked number 13 by BoxRec, is going to be fighting, and I think he should be getting a victory over Dmitry Mitrofanov on that card as well. But now both fighters are in the ring for our co-main event between Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker. I hope this one could be much, much more exciting than the first fight we saw, which was between Solomon Dakers and Chris Thompson. A very, very lackluster heavyweight clash between two very big and well-built guys. I was expecting a much, much more impressive performance from Solomon Dakers, but obviously it just wasn't. You went the full 10 rounds, didn't look that great. But both of these fighters in our co-main event are being announced. The main event should be on in about an hour. Both Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker are wearing full white trunks, wearing black and red Grant gloves. Pattinson and Walker will be a 10-round bout. We have a judge from Spain, England, and Monaco scoring the fights. Scoring the fight between Pattinson and Walker. So we're just embarking on an hour of this stream as well. So I'd appreciate it if you guys go hit the likes. Obviously, hit the subscribe button as well on my channel. Overall, I'd really appreciate that. Both fighters are getting announced thus far at this point. Like I said before, both fighters getting announced as we are just about to get started with our co-main event here between Cyrus Pattinson and Conor Walker. Walker 11-2-1 with 3 knockouts. Has never been stopped, so it'd be somewhat impressive if Cyrus Pattinson is able to get the stoppage victory here. I think he definitely could be able to, but I think my official prediction on boxingtalk.com, you guys should go check that out. That's where I post my full weekly prediction on my channel. If you've seen me before, I post predictions for the bigger fights each week, but obviously on boxingtalk.com, I post my predictions for nearly every fight card, every big fight card in that week. And I posted predictions for this card and some other cards as well. But I mean, really, I think in this one, Cyrus Pattinson should get the victory, most likely by decision, but I would be impressed if he's able to get a stoppage victory over Walker in this one. And on boxingtalk.com, you guys should go check out a ton of their other articles as well, posting about fight news that just happened and stuff like that as well. So both of these fighters are meeting at the center of the ring. We're just about to get started with the co-main event between Cyrus Pattinson and Conor Walker. Next will be the main event between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank. Both fighters meeting at the center of the ring. Like I said before, Cyrus Pattinson is a very sort of aggressive fighter. He's a southpaw. Walker is an orthodox fighter. But as this fight just started right now, I noticed a huge size difference. Cyrus Pattinson looks much bigger than Conor Walker. Walker looks like sort of a natural. He looks like a natural 147 pounder. It looks like he only walks around like 154, 153. He looks much smaller than Pattinson. Pattinson looks very big, looks very conditioned for this fight. Pattinson looks like he walks around at maybe 165-ish. Looks very big, very toned for this fight. Walker is getting off to a very good start with some jabs to the head and to the body. Two minutes left in this first round between Pattinson and Walker. And Cyrus Pattinson just landed a body shot that dropped Conor Walker, referee calling it a slip. I'm pretty sure it was a slip. It didn't really look like it landed with much conviction, but Cyrus Pattinson going forward a bit now. Obviously, they're stepping on the feet. There could be some tangling with the feet, being that there's a southpaw and an orthodox fighter going at it here. Cyrus Pattinson going forward with a 1-2, followed by a right uppercut to the body, and another good combination from Cyrus Pattinson. Pattinson is heating up, and Walker got out to a very good start and is holding his own pretty much in this one. Good uppercut to the body now from Walker, and a good shot from Walker again to the body. He's having a very tough first round here, I would say. We're just about a minute left, and I'll see if he can keep up. And a good uppercut from Walker as well. Both of them exchanging in this one. Definitely a much more exciting fight than our first fight that I was doing commentary on between Davis and Thompson. Both of these guys going at it here in the first. This round is very competitive. I could see either man edging it. Right now, I think I'm edging the heavy underdog in Conor Walker. He's 11-2-1 with 3 KOs. Good shots to the head now from Walker. We got 25 seconds left. Very, very good round from the heavy underdog. Walker now going to the body again. Cyrus Pattinson trying to stalk him a bit. Lands a 1-2 in a combination to the body and another combination as well. Somewhat close to end the first round. A very close round. I could see it going either way, but I think I'm just going to edge that in favor of Kona Walker. I'm going to give him that first round, but very, very close first round. Very unexpected. Pattinson, pretty highly ranked by BoxRec, considering he's only had 6 fights in the welterweight division, one of the toughest divisions to get a good ranking in from BoxRec. So they just reviewed the slip from that we saw in the first round. Pattinson sort of came in with a shot, kind of missed, but Pattinson did get hit to the body pretty nicely. But I'm ending that first round to Kona Walker, but I mean, it could definitely go either way. Pattinson had a very good close to the round. Kona Walker did very good throughout, landing good combinations. And we're going into our second round between these two, Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker. Cyrus Pattinson 6 wins by way of KO. Kona Walker 11-2-1. Excuse me, it might be 11-3-1. No, 11-2-1 with 3 KOs. He's ranked 223 by BoxRec. So a big over 150 spot difference between these two. And like I said before, the welterweight division is very tough to get a favorable ranking in by BoxRec. Referee calling time right here. And it's because the mouthpiece did come out. I think they're going right back at it right now. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Our second round between these two. Cyrus Pattinson going forward with a good combination of 1-2, 1-2 to the head from Pattinson. He's heating up a bit compared to last round, going to the head again with a 1-2. And a good shot to the body now from Walker. Pattinson going forward with a good hook to the head. If Pattinson is able to keep up this pressure a bit like he's doing in the second round, I think he might be able to stop Kona Walker. But Walker now going forward on Pattinson, the big underdog. He's landing big combinations on Pattinson. Very good shots from Kona Walker. Very good. Just after Pattinson was having some success, I mean, we have a very good fight here between these two in our co-main event. Much, much better than the first one. Very, very good round here, and a good one, too, from Cyrus Pattinson. Lands on Kona Walker. And a good body shot and a hook from Kona Walker as well, but a good head from Pattinson. Jabs to the head from Pattinson now in a good combination. And now some body and head combinations from Kona Walker as he goes forward. Both of them are exchanging here. Kona Walker doing a good job pressing Pattinson. Good hook again from Kona Walker. Kona Walker might have swung the round in his favor as the big underdog in this sort of way that he's just going forward on Pattinson, being a bit more aggressive and throwing more combinations. A very, very good start from Kona Walker in this round. Kona Walker not throwing combinations on Pattinson. Very good close to the round from Kona Walker. There's some blood now from the eye of Kona Walker. I wonder what that's from. Could be a punch, could be a headbutt because they're both going in sort of head first a bit. A good hook to the head from Pattinson. This round is really, really tough to score. This fight is going to be really tough to score if it ultimately goes the distance. Pattinson now going to the head with a good combination might have hurt Walker a bit. This round very, very close. Could go either way, but a very good close to the round for Cyrus Pattinson. And I think I'm going to edge that round to Cyrus Pattinson. But like I said before, very, very close. And if you are just joining the stream, we're in the co-main event of the Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank main card. I have it 19-19 between Kona Walker and in the co-main event. Pattinson 6-0, 4 KOs, and Kona Walker 11-2-1 with 3 KOs. It is just about 5 Eastern time here, and the main event should be on in about a half hour or a bit longer. Going to the third round now between Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker. Pattinson, like I said before, undefeated, pretty big favorite in this one, ranked 63 by BoxRec. However, Kona Walker is obviously a big underdog. He's ranked 223 by BoxRec, so a huge difference here in terms of ranking by BoxRec, like I mentioned earlier. But we're just starting our third round now. But it's a much more competitive fight than some would have thought. A very fun fight as well. Both these guys exchanging with big hooks to the head and to the body. We are 2 minutes 42 seconds left in our third round. Good shot to the body from Cyrus Pattinson. Both these guys in a clinch. Referee breaks him up. Cyrus Pattinson now gaining some confidence a bit. Kona Walker seemed to slow down. A good combination followed by, it was a 1-2 with a right hook to the head, a southpaw right hook from Cyrus Pattinson backing up Kona Walker a bit. But Kona Walker now comes forward after eating that big hook from Cyrus Pattinson. A good right hand to the head buckles Pattinson, and Pattinson is down. A big knockdown for the underdog, Kona Walker, dropping Cyrus Pattinson, the huge favorite. A big right hand landed, buckled him, and he went down. This could be a huge upset here for Kona Walker. 2-1, ranked 223 by BoxRec, dropping the number 63 ranked fighter. And Pattinson, they're now swinging in the center of the ring. A big fight here for Kona Walker. Big opportunity to get a huge upset. Cyrus Pattinson dropped, I believe this could be the first time in his career in the third round, and a war is breaking out here in the Utilita Arena. And a good right hand lands again on Pattinson. Pattinson is backed up, and Walker is going in for the finish. This could be an early night for Cyrus Pattinson. A good right hand again. They're just going to war in the center of the ring here. Great shots from both fighters. Walker eating Pattinson shots like nothing. He's gained so much confidence since the knockdown, and he's just going forward, trying to drop him again, trying to get a finish. It would be quite something if Kona Walker is able to get a finish here and upset Cyrus Pattinson, scoring a big knockdown in the middle of this third round. He had a good first round, pretty competitive second round, scoring the knockdown in the third round. All the momentum could be swinging in his favor, and it could lead to a big upset. We got 30 seconds left in this big third round for Kona Walker. And he goes to the body now with a huge shot. Cyrus Pattinson trying to, instead of engage into a firefight, he's trying to back up a bit, but then a big hook lands to the head when in an exchange, and Pattinson might be hurt again. He's getting backed up. We're just about to end our third round, and this will be a 10-8 round for Kona Walker. Big shots from Walker to end, and Pattinson looks really hurt. This fourth round, Kona Walker could be getting the finish. A huge third round for Kona Walker, getting a 10-8. Right now, after 3, I have this fight scored 29-27 in favor of the huge underdog, Kona Walker. A huge round for him, shaking up all the fans in here, dropping the huge favorite. In the corner, Cyrus Pattinson's trainer, I don't know his name, but he seems very frustrated. He's yelling in Pattinson's face, slapping him in the face, really trying to get him focused back into this fight. I think the best bet for Pattinson, if he's able to, I don't know if he's recovered, because the shot that he got hit with was sort of, they're just replaying it. It was a perfect hook right on the chin, or on the sort of the chin jaw area of Pattinson, setting him down. Big round for Kona Walker, and he's going forward immediately to start the fourth. And like I said before, Cyrus Pattinson's training is furious at him, really trying to get him focused into the fight. And I could see him in the corner, just yelling and urging his man on. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left of this fourth round between Walker and Pattinson in the co-main event. Walker 11-2-1, ranked over 200, 223 by BoxRec. Cyrus Pattinson ranked top 60, a generous, very good ranking in a very tough and competitive welterweight division. He got dropped in the third round and just got hit with another right hand here. He's in deep trouble in this one of losing his out and taking a very tough loss, which could really change the trajectory of his career. Conor Walker now going forward, very good work from Conor Walker here, the huge underdog. Cyrus Pattinson, I was going to say what he could do to really turn this fight around is boxing. He's got to fight smart if he doesn't want to get hit. Engage in a firefight. He can't try and exchange. He has to fight smart behind the jab and uses 1-2s, because it seems like Conor Walker is somewhat of a one-dimensional fighter, just going forward, throwing big shots and eating shots. And he just landed a good right hand, walking down Cyrus Pattinson. And Pattinson is just boxing now. And like I said before, that's what he's got to do. And he's doing it, and it seems like it's working decently, making this round closer, and he's not eating as much punishment. He's able to sort of recover a bit. We got a minute 14 left in this round. It's a very close round. I think Walker might be edging it because he's much more aggressive, much more active, but it's a very close round. Or he's a bit more active, but he's much, much more, I guess you could say he's dictating the pace of this round a bit. And now Walker is now sort of taunting Pattinson because he sees that he's running and moving around the ring. But this round's very close, I would say. I think that Pattinson could be edging, and he just gets caught with a big right hand. Pattinson eating a big shot. This round, even though Pattinson was a bit more, he was just fighting smarter on the outside, I don't think that he could not win this round because Walker's landing the far heavier shots, and he's walking down Cyrus Pattinson here. A very strong round here for both men. Pattinson boxing, Walker going forward. I think that Walker could be edging this round. Very, very close. I might give it to Pattinson. Pattinson just lands a good 1-2 sort of flurry shot at the end of the round. Pattinson got caught with one good right hand, but I think that he's done primarily the better work throughout this round. So I'm giving it to Pattinson. And I have this one 38-37 in favor of Conor Walker. Very, very close fight. We are heading into the fifth round of this one between these two, Cyrus Pattinson and Conor Walker, in our co-main event. A much, much more exciting fight compared to our first fight between Dakers and Chris Thompson. The fifth round of this fight between these two here. Cyrus Pattinson 6-0, going into it with 4 knockouts. Conor Walker 11-2-1 with 3 KOs. They're just showing some ads in between this round, and they're broadcasting the Jack Catterall and Jorge Linares fight. If Jack Catterall is able to win that fight, that'll be another very solid win for him. But I think he should be definitely fighting those top tier guys. I mean, I wonder if other guys aren't fighting him just based off his performance against Josh Taylor, where he looked very solid. I thought he won it very close. I thought it could have went either way. But we are now underway in our fifth round between these two, just almost at the halfway point. A very, very exciting fight in our co-main event between Cyrus Pattinson and Conor Walker. Probably a little bit over, maybe 40 minutes until our main event between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank. I thought that it probably would have been on at 5:30, but based on Solomon Daker's 10-round boring performance against Chris Thompson, might be a bit longer. I thought he could have been able to get Chris Thompson out of there, but he just wasn't able to. In the fifth game, just as the fourth, Pattinson just boxing, trying to fight smart, trying to avoid shots, lands a good 1-2 combination on Conor Walker. If Pattinson's able to keep this up for the rest of the fight, I think he's able to get a decision victory here. If he's able to just box, bob, and weave and win these rounds by just scoring points, landing the better shots. And Conor Walker is looking a bit frustrated. Last round we saw him taunting Pattinson. He's just trying to catch him on the ropes. I see him smiling at him now. He's landing some big shots, but it's just Cyrus Patterson doing a bit better in this one with his boxing. Antonio Sanchez says, I need Yafai to look spectacular in round one. I mean, if you're saying that you need him to get a stoppage in the first round, I mean, that could be unlikely. But, I mean, to look good in the first round, I mean, I would definitely think he would. I definitely think he'll be pretty much the better fighter throughout the entire fight. I think that he's obviously much, much more skilled than Tommy Frank. I think that he's just a much more polished fighter, had a very, very good amateur background. But yeah, I think he should definitely be winning. I definitely think he should be winning easy. Antonio Sanchez also says, I've been watching Yafai for a minute, and his brother just recently got whooped. I mean, I saw that fight as well. He had a very, very tough, a very, very tough fight. Dropped and came back with a split decision. He had a very tough time. You are right. He had a very, very tough time in his last fight. And Cyrus Patterson, it looks like he just went down again, just as I was commenting on that. And the referee calls it a knockdown. And here, clip, Cyrus Patterson getting dropped again. It looked like it was a slip, but the referee called it a knockdown. We're going to have to see a replay on that. And Julian Fortaleza says, what is my score on this one? This fifth round is just about to end, and it goes in as another 10-8 round for Kona Walker. So my score after 5 is 48-40, I believe 48-45 in favor of Kona Walker. But yeah, big underdog story from Kona Walker going into this fight, ranked almost 200, or he's ranked 223 by BoxRec. He is a much, much lower ranked fighter than Cyrus Patterson, who's undefeated and has been shown across the board on the Zone and other platforms. And here Kona Walker is dropping him twice, once in the third, once now in the fifth. They're just reviewing that fifth round knockdown, and it definitely was a slip. But obviously it goes in as a 10-8 round for Kona Walker, and that's really going to help him. That was 100% a slip. They're showing it here. Definitely a slip. I see there was definitely some water in the corner. Kona Walker did land a hook on sort of partially blocked on Patterson, and Patterson's feet slipped right out from under him. But just after the fifth round, I have it 48-45 in favor of Kona Walker, the big underdog. Patterson now still sticking to his game plan of boxing and bobbing and weaving, moving on the outside here in the sixth. It is now just about 5:10 p.m. Eastern time here. The main event should be on in about 30 minutes, I would say. Probably around 5:30, 5:40 p.m. Eastern time. We are in the sixth round of Patterson versus Walker, the co-main event. And right now, Cyrus Patterson really trying to survive after getting dropped twice. One of the knockdowns shouldn't really have been called a knockdown. But, I mean, he's just trying to survive. He got hurt in the third. Just trying to box, trying to move, trying to bob and weave on the outside. Cyrus Patterson being walked down a bit in this round, just like the other round. Kona Walker really just trying to land those big shots, but Cyrus Patterson just lands a 3-punch combination going forward on Kona Walker. Very good sequence there from Cyrus Patterson. I see all of Patterson's guys in those stands cheering for him. Eddie Hearn, I believe, is his promoter, also cheering for him, urging him on, because Kona Walker could be hurt, could be tired from being walked down, and he is hurting Kona Walker, walking him down with big combinations. Huge shots from Cyrus Patterson. He's turning this fight around. Very fun fight to watch. Very fun fight to score. Some knockdowns. It's a very good fight here between Cyrus Patterson and Kona Walker. They're just going to war here in the welterweight division. This is a huge round for Cyrus Patterson, but Patterson just got caught with a huge shot. He's now eating heavy leather from Kona Walker, and a huge shot just lands right on the button of Cyrus Patterson. This is a very, very good fight. If some of you guys are watching this and also watching my commentary, I mean, this is a war. And if you guys aren't able to catch the fight right now, you guys should definitely go check out the Zone's YouTube channel for the highlights, because they're just going to war, especially in this 6th round. Right now, I think I'm edging this round to Cyrus Pattinson, but just a very good fight, and I completely agree with Julian on this one. I mean, it's just such a good scrap between these two. Pattinson now going forward, and that could be another knockdown. And that is Cyrus Pattinson got walked down, and it looked to be a push, and the referee calls it a knockdown. It is another 10 round for Kona Walker. This is almost going to be impossible for him to come back from. What a performance from Kona Walker in this one, the huge underdog, scoring another round. I got him now up 58. I think to 53. A very tough deficit for Cyrus Pattinson. If you guys are just joining us now, Cyrus Pattinson has been dropped. Fight is down 58-53 on my scorecard. They just went to war in the 6th round, and there was a sort of BS call from the referee as a knockdown. Pattinson was being walked forward a bit, got hit to the body, and they're just reviewing that. That was a correct call from the referee. I think that was the right call. That was definitely a knockdown from from Kona Walker in the 6th round. The knockdown in the 5th round shouldn't have been a knockdown, should have been a slip. Knockdown was great right hand from Kona Walker, but that knockdown in the 6th round was justified. Kona Walker went forward, went to the body, went to the head, and Pattinson went down. So we're now in the 7th round. A very good war between these two. Pattinson is down by I have him down by 5 points. The judges could have him down by 4 based on if they gave Kona Walker the 1st round. I gave Walker the 1st round. Could go either way. That 1st round could have a very, very close fight and a very, very good fight. A war compared to our first fight between Dakers and Chris Thompson. Cyrus Pattinson trying to fight in the outside, land his combinations. Kona Walker seemed to be slowing down a bit last round, really went for it and dropped Pattinson again. But now Pattinson throwing combinations on Walker, and a big hook hurts Pattinson, and Pattinson is hurt again. He is wobbly. He's trying to hold. Big shots from Kona Walker, the huge underdog. He looks to have hurt Pattinson yet again, and he's going for it. Both of them wheeling away with huge hooks in this round. A good right hand now from Pattinson, backing up Kona Walker now. Now Kona Walker, he looked to be hurting Pattinson, and then Pattinson fired back with his own combinations. This is a very, very good scrap here between these two, Cyrus Pattinson and Kona Walker. Kona Walker scoring 3 knockdowns in total in this fight. I got him winning 58-53. It seems to be that there's a lot of people just joining in now to the stream. I would really appreciate it if you guys could go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. But if you're just joining, I got Kona Walker up 58-53 in this war with Cyrus Pattinson. 3 knockdowns for Walker. Both of them are just having such a good fight here. I think that Walker is probably going to edge it unless Pattinson gets a stoppage. This round is a very, very good round. Both of them also just hurting each other. It seemed like Pattinson was hurt early, and then Walker then started to get hit with some good combinations late. But right now, it seems like Pattinson's turning the tide in this round after getting hurt a bit. He's now landing the better on Kona Walker, and I think he's probably edging the 7th round. A good combination from Cyrus Pattinson. He's just landing these very good pity patter shots on Kona Walker. A good early part of the round for Walker, but a good middle and finish to the round for Cyrus Pattinson. I'm going to give that round to Cyrus Pattinson. So at this point in the fight, after the 7th round, I have this fight 67-63 in favor of Kona Walker. It could be 60, because I gave the first round to Kona Walker, but it was a swing round. Really could have went either way in that first. So now we're just about to head into the 8th round between these two, Kona Walker and Cyrus Pattinson. A very good fight. It just what a polar opposite fight between Solomon Daker's fight, which was super boring to commentate on, where he was just moving around the ring, landing 1-2s, not really doing much, compared to this fight. This fight is a war. In the corner, Cyrus Pattinson's trainer is just slapping him in the face, really trying to urge him and get him focused. We're just starting the Pattinson going forward with a 1-2 to start. I got him down by 4 points. I got Pattinson down by 4 points. He could definitely very well be down by 2 points. So he could have a shot in this fight to come back. But with 3 10-8 rounds, it's going to be very, very tough. Pattinson going into this fight 6-0 with 4 KOs. Kona Walker 11-2-1 with 3 knockouts. And sorry if you hear some barking in the background, that's my dog. But Pattinson, just as I say that, landing some good right hands, but then a right hand from Kona Walker to back up the head of Cyrus Pattinson. Pattinson landed a good 3-punch combination on Kona Walker. Then Kona Walker fired back with a big right hand, snapping the head back of Pattinson. A good in the 8th round between these two. The 6th, 7th, and 8th rounds of this fight have been an absolute war. The 8th round here, they're really going at it. Pattinson looked to be landing good combinations in the first minute, and then now Walker's coming back. Very, very good round. This is very good fight overall. Could be my pick for fight of the month. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'd know I've been doing these fight of the month and knockout of the month picks. But just like I'm saying that, these two again are just landing huge exchanges, big combinations. What a war here on this DAZN card between Yafai and Frank. I think Kona Walker's getting the better of Cyrus Pattinson in this one. Like I said, huge underdog story this is for Kona Walker, going in 11-2-1, 3 KOs, ranked 223 by BoxRec, taking on the undefeated Cyrus Pattinson, who was a big favorite going into this one. He's going forward on Pattinson now. Pattinson looks a little bit bewildered, and a big right hand from Kona Walker. And if Walker is able to win this round, that could really be it for Pattinson. And Pattinson would have to get a few knockdowns or a knockout to win this fight. If you guys are obviously just tuning in or obviously still watching the stream, I would really appreciate it. Again, if you guys hit the like button, also hit the subscribe button as well. Kona Walker now landing some good combinations on Pattinson as they're in the clinch. Good shots from Walker, and he's going forward, and Pattinson seems hurt. Pattinson's backing up. Kona Walker going forward, landing big combinations. Pattinson is hurt bad. Referee taking a closer look. Huge shots from Kona Walker to close the round. This is a huge one for Kona Walker, and he definitely took this one in this round. And yeah, big round for Kona Walker. I got him now up 77-72. Huge round for Kona Walker going into this fight as the big underdog, scoring 3 knockdowns on Cyrus Pattinson, the huge favorite, undefeated prospect. Just a very good fight as well thus far. And GH Will asks if you fight. I think he will. Unanimous decision. I initially had Pattinson winning by decision, but obviously he's in a war here. But I think you fight in the event. I think he will go the distance, but I'm getting a mid to late stoppage. But definitely my official prediction on BoxingTalk.com was for Yafai to win by unanimous decision. But I could definitely see it going for a mid to late stop Yafai, because Yafai, yet again, he's 4-0, 3 KOs, 75% KO ratio, and it appears that they've stopped the fight here in between rounds, and Kona Walker with the upset 8th round corner stoppage victory. What an upset. Just as I was going over that comment, I think it appeared to have happened before. What an upset for Kona Walker. I had him up big on the scorecards. 3 knockdowns, getting a huge upset victory. What a win for Kona Walker. What a victory for him. Definitely the biggest victory of his career thus far. Going into this fight, he only had 3 KO wins out of 11 victories. Didn't really beat anyone that was of to note. Really, I'm just taking a look at his resume as well right now. What a victory this is for Kona Walker. He had Cyrus Benson really hurt at the end of that round, and I guess I don't really know the exact reason why they stopped. It could have just been from punishment. Maybe the doctor took a look at him. What an upset win for Kona Walker. So this fight is in Birmingham, England, in the Utilita Arena. Kona Walker, I wonder, I'm not too big on English geography, but he's from Wolverhampton, West Midlands, England. So this fight really happened in sort of his area. I mean, this fight is in Birmingham, West Midlands, England. So, very big win for Kona Walker, who's the big underdog, or who is the big favorite, or excuse me, the big underdog in this one. Kona Walker, now he's 12-2-1 with 4 knockouts going into or after this fight. He's now ranked number 63. Sorry if you hear some noise in the background. That's my family in the back. But I'm watching this fight here. A very good one. Cyrus Pattinson wins via 8th round, or excuse me, Kona Walker wins via 8th round corner stoppage, scoring 3 knockdowns in this one. Like I said before, now 12-2-1 with 4 knockouts. He's now ranked 63 by BoxRec in the welterweight division. Huge win, like I said before, for Kona Walker. Cyrus Pattinson, though, he drops to 6-1, 4 knockouts. He now goes to number 100 by BoxRec, losing here his first fight by stoppage. Tough loss. Very tough loss for Cyrus Pattinson, going into it as a huge favorite, coming off of 2 very solid wins and taking a tough defeat. So it is 5:24 p.m. Eastern Time. We're just about to head into our main event. So if you guys are just watching here, drop down in the live chat your picks for the main event. Just as I said before, if you could hear any noise in the background, that's just my family doing their thing. I'm just here watching the fights. But yeah, very good performance from Kona Walker. They're just announcing the victory for Kona Walker. Very good win for him. Like I said before, Kona Walker now wins. I don't know what title that is. It's some type of WBA title that was on the line for this one. I didn't think there was any belt on the line, but there is a WBA supervisor holding some type of title, giving it to Kona Walker. It's probably an international belt or some type of continental title, but a very, very big win for Kona Walker. Huge upset. They're now raising the hand of Kona Walker, and now it's time for our main event. They should probably be walking to the ring in the next 10 minutes or so, and I'll just do what I did leading up to this fight between Walker and Frank. I'll just look at some of the fights that are coming up next week and some news coming up. And GH Will says a detailed prediction for the Yafai fight. So I'll just go through that. I mean, Tommy Frank, he's 15-3 and 1 with 3 knockouts. Doesn't really have much power to give Yafai any threat. He lost by TKO to Jay Harris. Also, he did lose to Rosendo Hugo Guarnos by stoppage in the 8th round and lost by split decision to Guarnos. He got stopped twice out of his 3 losses. I think Yafai, he puts his combinations together very nicely. He's very fast with his hands. He's only 30 years old. He did have a very competitive fight with Gohan Rodriguez Garcia, but he came back with a good stoppage over Moises Calleros. So I think Yafai is just going to overwhelm Tommy Frank. I think he's going to be much faster than him, just going to be picking better shots, landing better combinations. Tommy Frank, I just don't really think much of him. I haven't really seen much of Tommy Frank. And like I said before, I could definitely see a late stoppage in Yafai's favor. I think he could just be doing too much, landing too many shots, and just I think he could break down Tommy Frank. But in the end, I think Yafai might go the full distance. That was my official prediction, but I just think he'll just be doing much more, and I think he'll win a wide decision if it goes to scorecards, like a 100-90, maybe 99-91. But Galal Yafai definitely is just a much more polished fighter, much more well-known, has fought the better guys. Obviously, he's just has fought at a much more higher level compared to obviously Tommy Frank. But this is just really a showcase fight, I think, for Tommy Frank, for Galal Yafai. And GH Will says he subscribed and he really appreciates it. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching as well. But yeah, we're heading into the main event here. They're just interviewing Kona Walker. Just before we're about to head to the main event. And Julian says he might throw 5 on Yafai by decision, but he feels like he's going to get the stoppage. I definitely think he could get the stoppage. It's not more of who's going to win the fight. It's more of how the fight's going to be won for Yafai. Yafai's, I know anything can happen in boxing, but I just really think he's the huge favorite. And like GH Will says, there's some good odds for the fight to go over 6 rounds. And that's what I was banking on. I just think that Yafai is going to really go out there, try and put his combinations together nicely, get that decision. But like I said before, it could be a late stoppage. So, for Julian to throw $5 on Yafai decision, that's what I'd probably do. But I'm not a betting man. But yeah, it's either a stoppage or a late stoppage, I would say, or decision for Yafai. It's definitely going to be a Yafai victory. Even though he had a very tough fight a few fights ago, he's just puts his combinations together nicely. I'm just watching some highlights of Yafai here against Moises Calleros, and he could definitely get a stoppage in this one. Like I said before, he has very fast hands. It's just a matter of how Tommy Frank is able to take the shots. Like, who knows? Yafai could just realm him early and get the stoppage, but I feel like he's going to try and take his time after, he had a very tough fight, getting a split decision against Rodriguez, then got a 4th round KO over Calleros. So I think he's just going to try and go rounds, try and score points, and really just try and do a good job. But like I said before, he could get a late stoppage. It's really just either late stoppage, I think, or a decision for Yafai. But in the end, Yafai definitely should be getting the victory in this one. So they're still interviewing both fighters right now, going up into the main event. It is now 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. The main event should be up pretty soon. I don't think they would have been doing as big of an interview for these two fighters, Pattinson and Walker, if it wasn't such a war. If it wasn't such a war, or if it wasn't such a big upset. But yeah, we're just about to head into that main event, and I appreciate GH Will for obviously that comment there. But yeah, they're interviewing Eddie Hearn as well on the Kona Walker and Cyrus Pattinson fight. A very good war between those two. And I'm looking at the box rec of Tommy Frank, 15-3-1. It says his amateur record was 0-2. I would imagine he had much more fights than that. Like I said earlier in the stream, they do get a lot of the amateur records wrong. But Tommy Frank hasn't really fought anyone at the highest level besides Jay Harris. He was having a decently competitive fight with Jay Harris, Jay Harris isn't that. I mean, he was a decent level fighter because he had a very good war with Julio Cesar Martinez, but then he lost to Ricardo Sandoval and lost again. So I mean, that like Jay Harris has gone down in terms of like his level in the rankings. He's now ranked number 33 by BoxRec in the flyweight division. Tommy Frank got stopped by Jay Harris, but it was pretty close in the scorecards. One judge had it 86-86. One judge had it 85-86 for Harris, and the other one had it 87-84 for Terry O'Connor. And GH Will says, if it goes past 3 rounds, don't forget to congratulate me. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to go past 3, but I mean, that was my pick as well. But we'll see. Boxing is boxing. A lot of things can happen. Galal Yafai, obviously, to look at his resume a bit more. In his pro debut, he defeated Carlos Vado Bautista, winning by 5th round TKO victory. And Bautista is definitely a very tough fighter. Only got stopped once, and that was by Yafai. So that was a very impressive victory. And I mean, that could happen again. Like Yafai just overwhelmed him, with just beating him down, doing much, much more, and got the victory. But I mean, Tommy Frank, I mean, he showed a lot of heart and toughness against Jay Harris. So I mean, I think he will be able to go the distance. But I mean, I could definitely see a late stoppage. And then he also defeated Miguel Cartagena in Madison Square Garden, winning by stoppage. Then having that very tough fight against Gohan Rodriguez Garcia, and then defeating Moises Calleros by TKO. Do I follow UFC? I mean, I don't really follow it. I've done a few videos on it. I know a lot of the fighters. Obviously their names and their resumes, but I mean, I don't really watch it as much as boxing. Boxing, I watch. Obviously, as if there's a card, I'll watch it. You know, I mean, I love boxing. Always been around it. But yeah, UFC, I really only watch some of the bigger fights. I don't really take a look at like some of the cards they do on like ABC for free or ESPN for free, because usually it's all pay-per-view. Almost every single fight card, and on ESPN Plus as well. But if I can, I watch the bigger fights, like the Adesanyas, obviously Ngannou's not in the UFC anymore, but like when he was fighting Cyril Gane and some of those big fights, I like to watch because they're pretty exciting, and he does a good job of building the fights up and promoting them as well. And yeah, I did see Sean O'Malley is fighting later today. I believe he's fighting Aljamain Sterling for, I think it's the bantamweight title. I think he is in the bantamweight division. But I mean, I don't really have a pick on that one. I don't really do predictions for UFC, but I might give it a watch later, considering there's no other boxing on tonight. It's only this fight card, and I don't really think there's any other big cards later in the evening. And Julian says, is talking about Ngannou and some early thoughts on Ngannou Fury. So Francis Ngannou, I mean, I think it's kind of tough to judge where he is in boxing now. I mean, obviously Tyson Fury, the WBC heavyweight champion, 33-0. So Fury's obviously a very big guy, 6'9", I believe so. He's coming off of some very good wins over Deontay Wilder in that war. In their third fight, got dropped twice, came back, got the stoppage victory in round 11. And then before that, defeated Deontay Wilder by utter domination in early 2020, and then had that draw with Wilder. He also defeated Derek Chisora in between there. But I mean, I think Tyson Fury is just going to be is going to be too skilled for Francis Ngannou. I know Ngannou's tying up with Mike Tyson and some of those other guys, but I just don't think he has enough experience against a guy like Fury, especially in the boxing ring, 10 full rounds. I know Ngannou's used to fighting 25-minute fights, but 10 3-minute rounds just going out there slugging, I just think Tyson Fury is just going to be too much for him, and will probably get the victory. And that fight is happening in mid-October. But then next week, there's also a decent heavyweight card. I talked about the Usyk fight I think Usyk should be able to get the victory there. But when it comes to the other fighter that is fighting on ESPN later, it is Jared Anderson. He's 15-0, 14 knockouts. He fought last month against Charles Martin, winning a unanimous decision in his toughest fight. He's going to be fighting Ukrainian veteran Andriy Rudenko. But the real show stealer on that card is Zan Kosabutsky versus Efe Ajagba. Ajagba 17-1, Zan Kosabutsky 19-0, 17 knockouts. To Zan Kosabutsky's credit, Efe Ajagba 17-1. With 13 knockouts. Ajagba lost by unanimous decision to Frank Sanchez. Sanchez dominated him, dropped him in that fight. But since then, Ajagba has looked a bit more, I guess, a bit more skilled with his jab. Before that, he was a bit more stiff. I mean, it looks like he's just really going back to the gym, doing a bit more. And also on that card, it's just a lot of heavyweights. Bakodir Jalolov, former Olympic gold medalist, on that card next week on ESPN, Olympic gold medalist. Jalolov is fighting Honorioid Iwarime, who's a Nigerian heavyweight. He should be able to get the stoppage win there. But that's also a very, very good card. But heading back to the main event here between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank, we're just about to get started with the main event. If you're just joining the stream here, obviously Galal Yafai going into this one, the heavy favorite, should be getting the victory here. That's my prediction for this one, and I mean, I agree. GH Will says Fury will destroy Ngannou. I mean, I agree. I think he's just going to be too much. I mean, he's the boxer, he's the world champion, he's the top heavyweight in boxing. Ngannou's not a boxer. So, I mean, I just really think it's a clown show. I'm going to be honest. I'd rather see Tyson Fury fight Derek Chisora for a fourth time than seeing him fight Francis Ngannou. I mean, it's just because, Francis Ngannou is not a boxer, and it's kind of holding up the heavyweight division a bit. There's guys like Frank Sanchez and even other guys like that are ranked in WBC rankings that could be eligible for that world title shot against Tyson Fury, and they're not giving him that chance at the world title. Dennis from Boston says Patterson cost me some money. He was the big favorite in that one. Conor Walker, relatively unknown going into that one, and I definitely appreciate that as well. But Cyrus Patterson was a huge underdog, got dropped 3 times, and ultimately got stopped. But that was a real tough war to watch as well. A very fun fight to watch. Good war between those two. But he was a huge underdog, and I don't really know the exact odds on that fight, but Patterson was the Patterson was the huge, he was the undefeated rising prospect, trying to be the showcase co-main event on that card, and Conor Walker going into that one, relatively unknown, ranked almost 230 by BoxRec. But like I said before, main event, just about to get started. They're going to the tail of the tape. Tommy Frank has 6 years experience over Galal Yafai, started in 2016, his debut, Yafai in 2022. He has boxed over 120 more rounds than Yafai, and the KO percentage is way different. Tommy Frank, 16%. Galal Yafai, at 75, like I mentioned earlier. Dennis from Boston is also saying he needs Yafai in under 5 rounds to make it up. I could see getting a mid-weight stoppage in this one, but it's really just how Yafai is going to win. I think his hands are going to be really too fast for Tommy Frank. But based on the fact that Tommy Frank was able to have a very tough war against the decent level Jay Harris, I think that he'll be able to. Get the victory by decision. But it could be a mid to late stoppage, definitely for Yafai. And Julian also says Patterson by unanimous decision had good value. I was picking him to win by unanimous decision. I thought he was going to be able to go the distance in that one, but obviously big upset there. And Dennis from Boston says the odds were 14-1. I believe you're talking about the Patterson fight. And I mean, I definitely see that, and I also see that in the Yafai fight. I would imagine that the odds are pretty similar, being that both guys were big or undefeated prospects going into it. But yeah, they're not. The fighters have not walked out yet. It's 5:42 p.m. Eastern time if you're just checking in. And yeah, we're just about to get started with the main event soon. Right now, they're still doing some like talk with the commentary team. No ring walks yet, but yeah, I mean this week, not a lot of boxing. It was really only this card. Not really a lot else compared to next week, which I said before. There's two big heavyweight fights. Obviously, that big heavyweight ESPN card happening on Saturday night, and then Saturday afternoon, if I'm going by Eastern time, is the Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois clash. But I mean, also tonight there's obviously this card in England, but then there's some fights in the United States. I'll just go through some of my predictions for later tonight. I mean, there's just not really a lot. I got Louis Correa. If you guys have ever heard of him, he always goes to war against some of these top guys. He's really the only other fighter fighting that's a decent level tonight. I think he's going to win by unanimous decision. And I also think Steven Sumter, who's 8-0, he's fighting 12-0 James Perkins. I think he's going to win by late knockout. Julian says we've had a lot of great fights this summer alone, and I mean I completely agree. This summer we've seen a lot of great fights in boxing, and just to go through some, I mean we saw obviously at the start of summer we saw obviously Naoya Inoue defeating Stephen Fulton dominantly by stoppage. Excuse me, by stoppage. We also saw Spence and Terrence Crawford. That was the super fight, the mega fight on a big pay-per-view platform. But yeah, those were really the two big highlight fights of this summer. And then obviously we saw the clash between Anthony Joshua and Robert Helenius, and that was a pretty good pretty fun card to watch. Just all heavyweights going at it. The Johnny Fisher fight was very exciting on that card as well. Also, Derek Chisora was able to get a victory, and Filip Hrgovic. And then a week before that, we saw Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. That wasn't really a great fight, if I'm going to be honest. But, I mean, obviously not as high level as the other. But, I mean, that fight wasn't made for, like, hardcore boxing fans. It was just really made for entertainment value. But then, yeah, we also saw Oscar Valdez and Emmanuel Yafai. They went at it in absolute war, where with Valdez losing by decision. We also saw Manny Rodriguez and Melvin Lopez going at it. Going at it. And Emmanuel Rodriguez getting the victory. And also on that card, we saw some good upsets with Gabriel Maestre defeating Trayvon Marshall by stoppage. And then Gary Antoine Russell destroyed Ken Cruz, dropping him multiple times in the first round, getting a stoppage victory. And also this past week, we also saw Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo having their press conference. And that's also a very big fight that's also set up for this year. Even earlier in this year, we saw Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis going at it in a very good fight. We also saw David Benavidez and Caleb Plant going to war. I mean, we've seen so many good fights this year. Very good year of boxing in 2023. And right now, Tommy Frank is just about to walk out. He's walking out right now, heading to the ring with a smile on his face. Looks a bit confident going into this one. He's a big underdog. BBJ says, who's winning? I got Yafai winning this one. My official pick is by unanimous decision, but I definitely could see him getting a mid to late stoppage in this one. So now this is the main event on this card. Galal Yafai, the featured showcase 4-0 with 3 knockouts. Tommy Frank 15-3-1. in the flyweight division here, the WBC International Flyweight title on the line. Yafai is coming to the ring. He's got white Grant gloves. His trunks are blue, trimmed with gold. He's coming to the ring now. And this fight is taking place in the Utilita Arena in Birmingham, England. Yafai coming to the ring. He looks a bit nervous, though. I mean, Tommy Frank was coming to the ring smiling, bouncing on his feet. Yafai just coming in stone-faced. Maybe, I mean, he's just focused. It could just be that he's extra focused on this one, getting the job done, getting another victory. But if he wins this fight, he will improve to 5-0. If Tommy Frank loses, he will be 15-4. The odds on this one, I would imagine, are pretty wide in favor of Galal Yafai. And if you are familiar with the Yafais, I mean, Khalid Yafai, who's also Galal Yafai's brother, he fought recently, had a very tough fight. He's also a former champion. And, I mean, really, they're just a fighting family. Multiple brothers who are fighters. But, yeah, this is the last fight of the night. They're both being announced right now. We're just about to get started here with the main event. And this is really a hometown fight for Yafai. He's fighting out of the exact location of this arena, Birmingham, West Midlands, England. That is where the Utilita Arena is, and that is the hometown of Galal Yafai. So I would imagine a lot of his fans did make it out for this one. So both men are being announced here. Tommy Frank in the ring with some red headband on. Yafai doing some shadow boxing to get ready. Hopefully this one's going to be as good as our co-main event here. I mean, if it's going to be that good, it's going to have to be a competitive fight. The judges for this fight are Michael Alexander, Kieran McCann, and I wasn't able to see the third judge, but they're two from England, one from Scotland, going into this one. The referee is John Latham going into this fight. Latham, I've seen ref all over England and all these DAZN UK cards. I've seen primarily with the UK referees. It's Steve Gray and a few other guys, but really that's like the benchmark. Like Steve Gray's the main referee in England. Some guys like Ian John Lewis and some other guys out there are also good refs, and John Latham as well, who's reffing this one. Tommy Frank, just about to be announced. The announcer, David Diamante, going through the sponsors and all that. Tommy Frank now being announced here. Looks very confident, like I said before, smiling, shaking his arms out here, raising his hands to the crowd. He's fighting out of Sheffield, England, 15-3-1 with 3 KOs. Tommy Frank, the big favorite, Galal Yafai, the big favorite going into this one. Announced here is Tommy Frank. Now they are announcing Galal Yafai. Yafai 4-0 with 3 knockouts. If you were just joining, I would really appreciate it if you guys go hit the subscribe button, leave a like. It's free. I would really appreciate it. Yafai being announced here, hitting himself slightly on the chin to get focused into the fight. He looks focused. At first, I thought he looked a bit nervous, but I see him just looking down, eyeing across the ring. Now he's sort of walking around, pacing a bit. But definitely it should be a bit nervous, or I would imagine he's very nervous. I think this is his first main event, unless I'm incorrect, but I think this is his first main event going in there. Should be his showcase. He's the undefeated prospect going into this one, the big favorite. And now they're about to start the fight. Referee going over the final instructions. About to start the first round here between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank, 5:51 p.m. Eastern Time. I thought this fight would probably have started a little bit earlier if it wasn't for Solomon Dakers putting on a very poor performance in the first fight. And now the first round has just started between Galal Yafai and Tommy Frank. Galal Yafai going out there very aggressive. Tommy Frank lands an overhand, or slightly partially lands an overhand. Yafai is really going out here much more aggressive than we usually see him. Yafai looks like slightly the smaller man in this one. A lot of the guys in the chat were talking about how whether to pick stoppage or decision, and I said it really depends on how Yafai's landing, and Yafai just drops Tommy Frank in the first round. Good shot from Galal Yafai to start. Wow. Tommy Frank goes down in the first round, and I said it could be the speed of his combinations that could really be a force for Tommy Frank, and he's not dealing well with these fast combos, and he goes down again. Referee calls it a slip. He got dropped bad early, and even though I said this fight would go the distance, at this point in the fight, it's looking like it could be a first-round stoppage for Galal Yafai, which would be very impressive. Wow. Very impressive performance thus far from Galal Yafai. He is just breaking down Tommy Frank here in this first round. He's walking Tommy Frank down. Tommy Frank is on the ropes, taking big shots from Yafai. Referee looking in to stop the fight. And they throw in the towel, and the fight's over. A first-round stoppage win for Galal Yafai. I thought this fight was going to go 10, but it did not at all. Galal Yafai with the upset. If anything, I thought he'd get the stoppage later, and he just put out an absolute statement. And just, wow, what a victory here for Galal Yafai. First-round stoppage win, and that brings it to the end of this card. A huge win for Galal Yafai. Now 5-0 with 4 wins by knockout. Very impressive performance by him, scoring a knockdown early, then just jumping on him, not leaving him, or he didn't leave Tommy Frank to sort of recover from that knockdown. Just stayed on him through those fast combinations, got the stoppage in the first round. Huge win for Yafai. They're going over the stoppage and the knockdown. It looked like it was sort of a headbutt when he came in. Or they're just going over it here. Or no, it was really that right hook. Big right hook from Tommy Frank. And Antonio Sanchez says he just won me $100. I mean, props to you. I mean, I didn't think he was going to get that first round. I thought he was going to look good. I didn't think he was going to get that stoppage. That's a very good bet from Antonio Sanchez. Big win for Yafai, and that is a very good bet. I mean, really. I mean, most people probably weren't picking him to win by first round stoppage, let alone, I mean, really, it was probably mid to late stoppage. Very good performance from by getting the job done. And thank you as well to Chila Quiles. So, yeah, that brings it to the end of this card, like I said before. And just to do a little recap of the fights that I commentated throughout. First fight was Solomon Dakers defeating Chris Thompson by unanimous decision. Solomon Dakers now 7-0 with 2 knockouts. Chris Thompson falls to 12-5-1. And I had that fight score 99-91 for Dakers. Co-main event in a war. Kona Walker got the huge upset, dropping Cyrus Patterson 3 times, getting a stoppage win in the 8th round, a corner stoppage win, improving to 12-2-1. And Cyrus Patterson drops to 6-1. And then in the main event, Galal Yafai puts on an absolutely amazing performance, stopping Tommy Frank in the first round, getting the victory. So I'm going to thank all of you guys for checking in to the live stream, giving help, and I'd really appreciate it one more time if you guys go hit the subscribe button, leave a like. And again, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching my second ever live stream, and I'll see you guys later.